What are you doing, Keezy?
Oh, Keezy.
Fuck's sake.
Oh, there we go.
Fan of the Hodaki Big Show podcast? Make sure
Yeah,
you
big
check
one
out
last
more
night.
from Jay,
you
Smike,
just
and
wait?
Keezy on their Instagram at
Yeah,
Hodaki Big
Keezy,
Show,
yeah,
or
the
tune
big
into them
Guys,
4
can
to
you just
7
wait?
Good
every
one, mate.
weekday on Radio
That's all the
Hodaki.
only question I've got. Is that,
Thanks, mate.
What was your question, Mogi?
oh, well, I'm not going
Keezy.
to. You either hear it or you don't, man. Fucking hell.
Do you have a big one last night, Keezy?
No, I didn't have a big one last night. No, definitely not.
Good on you, man.
That sounded too defensive.
Where did you go last night,
it did
Keezy?
sound a bit defensive. No, I think you had a bachelor night.
No, that's you had a
Oh,
bachelor
no.
night.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's getting
It
me
gets
and him mixed
confusing,
up.
doesn't it?
Here's my bachelor night.
Yeah, close to the front, you pig.
Jesus. That was...
My youngest daughter was going to the Henderson markets, the night markets.
Oh, are they fancy, are they?
No, it's just markets underneath the car park there.
Oh,
and
those are
they're,
classic.
they're actually pretty cool. And
So they are cool.
And my wife said to me, because she was going out to dinner with some mates, and she said to me, but she's going to get herself to the market, so you don't need to worry about that.
Oh, I bet you had to give her a ride, did you?
So I got home around 7-ish, and she said, oh, can you give me a lift to the markets? And I was like, yes, I can give you a lift. Gave her a lift to the markets, got home, and then my wife got home.
My wife?
Oh, really?
So that was my bachelor's night.
Ah, poor Jace.
That sucks. Did you even have a Hawaiian pizza?
No, I made myself 2 poached eggs on muffins with bacon
Oh, that's quite nice.
and a little side dish of avocado mogi with a bit of crack pepper, a bit of aioli.
Avocado, you into the Evos at this time of year?
Yeah,
Must be all
I-
that dog squad money, isn't
I
it?
reckon they're a fortune.
A little bit,
A small fortune.
and also some fried cherry tomatoes with a bit of crack pepper and a bit of lemon zest.
There's so much fucking around for a bachelor night. Just buy a pizza
Yeah.
and cook it.
What you've got there, though, Jace, is you've got some good whole foods there.
Thank you. Yes.
No, nothing processed in there.
Yeah.
All just good eating.
Well, funnily enough, Keezy, I did that last weekend.
Right. A
I-
frozen pizza.
Yeah, frozen pizza.
But you would have
but-
done that thing where you chuck heaps of real annoying stuff on top of it.
Yes, where I chuck my own ham, my own olives, some anchovies, and extra cheese and extra sauce.
Yeah.
It was fucking disgusting.
Yeah. But not because of what you put on it.
No,
No, not because of the dried fish.
it was, well, it's not dry, it's in oil.
It's not dried, Keezy. Wake up, man.
Come on, man.
You're better than that.
You definitely had a massive night last night. I can tell by your doughy eyes.
Do you know what's made my eyes doughy is this new screen. Everything's blurry now.
Well, it's confusing, though. Have you worked it out, what it is?
No?
It's a computer.
Oh, yeah. But there's something about it that's so bright and is making the rest of the studio very blurry for me. That's
Careful
weird,
what you
isn't
wish
it?
for, because you were moaning about that screen for God knows how long.
No, I had no problem with it.
You were having tantrums about the lack of
Effing and
technology
jeffing you were.
in the studio here.
Jace, what flavour pizza do you start with?
Well, it depends. But I also, terrible mistake that I made. I can't believe I made it, Mogi.
Tell me, I'll fix it.
Because I like I like thin crust, obviously, and I somehow got one of bloody
Keezy
Keezy's
special.
spongy fat crust bastards.
It's called thick crust, not
And-
fat crust.
Is it not called pan?
Yeah, pan
Yeah.
and thin, you know.
Pan-
and I
something.
Pan bake.
so that was. But what I try to get as a base, generally speaking, is the minimal. You know, so there's not much going on, and then I add to it.
That's the way to do it, man.
I had 2 pieces of that pizza I made the other day, and I biffed the rest of it.
Did you?
What a
Yeah.
waste.
People are starving out there, man.
Keezy would have scoffed it, no question.
No, I wouldn't have, because you put
Not 'cause of the
anchovies
anchovies.
on it. And olives.
Hey,
And
fellas.
olives are fucking yum.
This is funny. We were
no
going to the
anchovies
bash.
on no olives on an Italian pizza, Keezy.
Nah.
Good on you, mate.
We're going to the batch, and Jace is all excited because he spent $1,000 on food. Remember the batch trip that we...
Oh yeah, I've heard it mentioned.
Yeah. And then he goes, hope you guys like olives. And then I was like,
Nah.
yeah, I love olives.
Well, most people do, Keezy.
I feel like it's one of those things you get into the older you get. Like wine for me.
Well, yeah, because your parents wouldn't waste it on you when you're young.
We did-
Well,
we never-
actually, my kids have my kid has
My-
olives.
We never ate olives either.
I can't. Yeah, I would have been in my early 20s before I tasted an olive. But
my family's very
You
vanilla.
still would have enjoyed the chicken marabella, I'm sure.
Totally, but I could see it in your face how gutted you were, and the amount of olives you obviously had purchased.
But
and this
also-
olive-heavy chicken marabella who was planning on
But
making.
I also had
yeah.
purchased, Mogi.
Green olives, a green olive in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Do you go stuffed? Do you just straight greens?
Big green olives. But I'd also bought a sack of mixed olives.
Yeah.
And with,
They're good
various
eating.
things. Yes.
Do you know, it's amazing that they ever found out that you could even eat an olive.
Yes.
With all the shit you have to do to them to make them edible.
I think, yeah.
I
Same
have-
with coffee and chocolate.
I've always been fascinated by, certain foods. And it's like, who was the first person to eat this?
Yeah, coffee's easy though. They're beans and you grind them up and you put some water in it.
Yeah, but you got to take the bean. They're actually the seeds of a coffee cherry.
Ah, are they?
Yeah, so they don't just grow like that.
Right.
Yeah. This is one of my many YouTube documentaries while trying to sleep.
They should do something on that with country calendar.
They
Hey,
should.
mate. Yeah.
How the bean?
Right.
But I love an olive myself.
I love an olive.
I love your
olive.
calamata and so forth.
That's a squid.
Now listen.
Now, calamata is good, but it's also that salty set off with a bit of cheese in there as well.
Yes, that can be nice.
It's
Actually, fellas, I just got a bit of a confession because Pugs has just gone out of the room here. I feel really bad about it because he bought a big sack of pastrami and I fed it to my dog.
Hooroo.
Roo, yeah. So don't
Roo,
tell
what about?
Pugs that because he was spewing about. Did you guys also buy some shredded chicken?
Yeah, that was Pugs as well.
Oh, okay.
ripped ass chicken.
I gave that to
fucking
my
chicken.
I
Was
gave that to my dog as well.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because I don't like to fuck around with chicken.
So there was obviously a mix-up then because Pugs, I walked in today and Pugs was eating a bag of dog biscuits.
Interesting.
He was fit as a fiddle though.
Sharp
Yeah.
as a knife. Yeah. Good on you, mate.
I love that they brought that back.
The Horaki Big Show, weekdays from 4 on Radio Horaki. The Horaki Big Show podcast.
So good.
So good, eh?
Yeah. But yeah, it as a consequence, also I had bought a lot of cheeses. So I've been eating way too much cheese.
We're going to save that for the show.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
good.
That's gold, Jace, for the show.
The cheese
It
chat.
says here on the planner.
Is it on the planner about your cheese? Is it?
Is it?
I went and picked up some
$90
purchases.
I spent on cheese.
I'd made some purchases on Trade Me. Did you? $90.
Yes.
It's disgusting.
That's a lot of cheese.
And I went around to this dude's house and he invited me in for a drink. One thing led to another. Neck mama.
Banging.
What, you buffed him?
Nah, but he was an interesting fella. Turns out we knew some shared people.
Right.
But this dude had heaps of... He used to work in the music industry back in the 90s and early 2000s, and he had heaps of yarns about musicians and shit.
Right.
And he had like signed Beastie Boys stuff and Radiohead and all sorts of shit. So I stayed around there for a couple of hours.
Nice.
Nice little adventure. Fascinating guy.
Last night was this?
Last night.
Wow.
He just had story on story on story, and I was gutted to have to leave, to be honest with you. But I've got a family, Keezy, and
I've told you,
Yeah, it
I've
does
only
suck.
I've twice been invited into strangers' houses. And there's both times when I was working for Greenpeace.
I was going to say, wasn't that your job?
One was with a woman who I think wanted to...
Here we go.
yeah, of course you did.
Here we go.
Of course you did.
Here we
And
go. What
It's
did
only
she
human,
want?
man.
And the other one
She was a big fan of Labyrinth.
and I didn't, and we didn't, of course. We just had a nice
Why not?
conversation. And the other one I've told you about when the dude came in and
And what?
I know when I
He
was at the
came in
door
what?
working for Greenpeace, and he said, "Oh, would you like a beersy?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, that'd be nice." 10 beers later, he was like, "Okay, you can go now." Literally, he literally said, "Okay, you can go now," and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I suppose I should go and get some more. I should go and get some more
Just a piece of
some
shit.
subscriptions."
Didn't you also have
That's
to
true.
go and back one out at someone's house? I remember you saying you had to ask them to use the toilet one time as well.
Yeah, maybe. I remember getting stoned off my head just before we went door to door.
Great.
This guy called Vince, who had no sense of taste or smell because of an accident.
He lives in Huntley with his mum
and he
now.
worked for Greenpeace. It's totally true. And he was in his spare time. He was a clown.
Oh my god!
And he had a massive ponytail, but he used to have the most wicked weed. And he said to us, because he'd be dropped off in a little sort of street.
Yeah.
And you'd have a map showing where you had to go and sort
Your
of try
prop.
and get some-
We used to call that prop.
a prop, okay.
Yeah.
And he said to me and my mate, "Oh, you guys want to get stoned before we go out?" And I went, "Oh, yeah, that sounds like a good idea." So I got so fucking stoned, like massive paranoid stoned, and then had to go around knocking on strangers' doors trying to sell fucking Greenpeace subscriptions. It was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Because you knock and all the paranoid thoughts would be going on in my head. G'day there, my name's Jason and I work for Greenpeace. I was wondering if I could have maybe 5 minutes of your time, please.
No.
Okay, thanks very much. You have a great day.
G'day there. We're just in the area doing a special on these. I'm trying to remember what my patter was.
This is where you were working when you had that wet dream in the car that time.
That's right. It was for first aid supplies.
You probably heard this. My favourite one was when I had to train someone up. And so,
Oh, yeah.
so this dude came with me to watch what I did so he could learn how to do it. The first house we went to, knocked on the door, and this guy standing next to me, and I go,
That's right.
"G'day, mate. My name's Jason. I'm working for Greenpeace. I was wondering if I could." And he went, "I don't give a fuck if you're from Orange Piece, mate. Get the fuck off my property." And the dude who I was mentoring was like, "Jesus Christ, is that what it's like all the fucking time?" I said, "No, that was
a special
that was a pretty random one."
This is the guy who you drank 10 of his beers, right?
It's been a busy day,
Same guy.
darling.
He left and went back and knocked on the same door.
Hey, follow the Hodaki Big Show, whatever. Oh, wait, no, listen to it. 4 to 7 every single weekday on Radio Hodaki. It's really good.
You
You'll love
definitely had a big night, Keith. What
No,
do you
I
mean?
didn't. It's
Go
the
and
screen.
watch it.